Fellow curious minds, have you got your adrenaline fix ready for another video that will take you on a wild ride of our planet's awe-inspiring wonders? If so, today we are stepping into the realm of extreme living and exploring the top 5 highest settlements in the world. Brace yourself for some jaw-dropping discoveries and the ultimate question, how do they survive up there? Let's dive in and uncover more about these settlements and the people who dare to live there. At number 5 is Parinacota, Chile at an altitude of 4,400 meters, or 14,435 feet. Parinacota province is one of the most remote and sparsely populated areas of Chile, located in the highlands of the Arica-Parinacota region. It is named after the Parinacota volcano, a majestic snow-capped peak that dominates the landscape. The province covers an area of 8,146.9 square kilometers, and has a population of only 3,156 inhabitants, according to the 2002 census. The climate is high-altitude tundra, with snowfall in winter and mild temperatures in summer. The air is dry and rarefied, requiring acclimatization and hydration. So that begs the question, how do people survive the extreme conditions in this area? The climate of Parinacota province is harsh and challenging, with high diurnal temperature variations and low precipitation. The average temperature ranges from -1 degree Celsius to 13 degrees Celsius throughout the year, but it can drop below freezing at night even in summer. The rainfall is concentrated between December and March, when the province receives the influence of the Bolivian winter, a phenomenon that brings humid air masses from the Amazon basin. The rest of the year is extremely dry, with only 20 millimeters of precipitation over 8 months. The people of Parinacota province have adapted to these extreme conditions by developing a culture and a way of life that are closely linked to their natural environment. They practice ancestral forms of agriculture and livestock raising, using terraces, irrigation canals and stone walls to cultivate crops such as quinoa, potatoes, corn, and alfalfa. They also raise llamas, alpacas, and sheep, which provide them with meat, wool, and leather. They use natural resources such as salt, borax, and medicinal plants for their daily needs. The people of Parinacota province also face many challenges and difficulties. They are vulnerable to natural disasters such as earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, landslides, and droughts. At number 4 is Kazakh, India at an altitude of 4,570 meters or 15,000 feet. This is a small settlement on the shore of Tso-Mariri Lake in Ladakh region. The climate is cold desert, with freezing temperatures for most of the year and very little precipitation. The average annual temperature is -3 degrees Celsius 27 degrees Fahrenheit. The air has low oxygen levels and high solar radiation, increasing the risk of hypoxia and sunburn. So how do the people who live there cope with the harsh climate and the isolation? Kazakh has a subarctic climate bordering on a tundra climate. The summers are cool with chilly nights, and the winters are long and cold with lows below zero. The average annual precipitation is only 102 millimeters, mostly in the form of snow. The village is surrounded by barren mountains and salt fields, and has very limited vegetation and wildlife. The people of Kazakh belong to the Changpa tribe, who are nomadic pastoralists. They rear sheep, goats, and yaks for their wool, milk, and meat. They also trade pashmina, a type of fine wool, and salt that they extract from the nearby springs. They live in tents made of yak hair or skin during the summer, and move to permanent houses during the winter. They follow the Drukpa sect of Tibetan Buddhism, and have a monastery in the village. The people of Kazakh have adapted to their environment over centuries. They have developed a high tolerance for low oxygen levels and cold temperatures. They wear multiple layers of clothing made of wool or fur to keep warm. They eat a high-calorie diet consisting of barley, meat, butter, tea, and sampa, which is roasted flour. Coming in at number 3 is Santa Barbara, Bolivia, which is at an altitude of 4,770 meters, or 15,600 feet. Santa Barbara, also known as Corolque, is a small mining town in the highlands of Bolivia. It is located in the Atocha municipality of the Sudchicas province in the Potosí department. The town lies at the foot of Cerro Carolque, a 5,552-meter-high mountain, rich in ore deposits of tin, bismuth, silver, gold, and copper. The climate is semi-arid, with a rainy season from December to March and a dry season from April to November. The average annual temperature is 7 degrees Celsius (45 degrees Fahrenheit). The air contains less oxygen and more carbon dioxide than at lower altitudes, causing headaches, nausea, and fatigue. Living in such a high altitude poses many challenges for the residents of Santa Barbara. The air is thin and cold, making breathing difficult and increasing the risk of hypoxia and hypothermia. The weather is unpredictable and harsh, with strong winds, snowstorms, and hail. The soil is rocky and barren, making agriculture almost impossible. The water sources are scarce and often contaminated by mining activities. At number 2 is Tuiwa, China, at an altitude of 5,070 meters or 16,630 feet. Tuiwa is a village located in Tibet, China, at the northeast shore of Lake Puma-Yumko. It is located in Tibet Autonomous Region, near the border with India. The climate is alpine, with long and cold winters and short and cool summers. The average annual temperature is -5 degrees Celsius (23 degrees Fahrenheit). The air pressure is only 53% of that at sea level, making it difficult for newcomers to adjust. The villagers face many challenges due to the high altitude and low oxygen levels. They suffer from altitude sickness, headaches, fatigue, and insomnia. They also have a higher risk of developing chronic mountain sickness, which can cause heart problems, lung problems, and brain damage. They also have to deal with natural disasters such as landslides, avalanches, and earthquakes. The villagers have adapted to the harsh environment by living in traditional Tibetan houses made of stone and mud. They also wear thick clothes and hats to keep warm. They practice Tibetan Buddhism and have a temple in the village. Animal husbandry is the main source of income for the villagers. They raise yaks, sheep, goats, and horses. They also grow barley, wheat, and potatoes. We are now at number 1, and the highest settlement in the world is La Rinconada, Peru, at an altitude of 5,100 meters, or 16,700 feet above sea level. This area is located in the Andes Mountains, where the climate is harsh, with cold days and freezing nights throughout the year. The air is thin and oxygen is scarce, with 50% of oxygen as at sea level, making it hard to breathe and causing altitude sickness. One of the main reasons people live in La Rinconada is the prospect of finding gold. The town started as a temporary mining settlement more than 4 decades ago, but grew rapidly in the 2000s when the price of gold increased. The miners work under a system called cacareo, which means they receive no wage but can keep whatever gold they find on their last day of work each month. This system attracts many people who hope to strike it rich, but also exposes them to many risks, such as accidents and mercury poisoning. Another reason people stay in La Rinconada is the lack of alternatives. Many of the residents are poor migrants from rural areas who have no access to education, healthcare, or social services. They have few opportunities to improve their living conditions or move to other places. Some of them have adapted to the high altitude by developing larger lungs and hearts, but many others suffer from chronic mountain sickness, which causes headaches, dizziness, palpitations, and even heart failure. Despite the hardships, some people find ways to cope and thrive in La Rinconada. They engage in various economic activities besides mining, such as commerce, agriculture, handicrafts, and tourism. These are just some of the interesting facts about the top 5 highest settlements in the world. We hope we have satisfied your curiosity, and if you ever decide to visit them, make sure you are well prepared and respect the local culture and environment. If you have been to any of these areas before, please share your experiences with us in the comments section. That's it for today on Curious Gate. Please remember to subscribe and click on the bell for notifications so you don't miss when we upload new content. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay curious.